In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage
Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex for this New Mexico United preseason friendly between Team Somos and Team Unidos. The 2020 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Tyler Ortega here alongside JJ Buck. And JJ, we've got an inter-squad friendly last-minute change of plans. Of course, this game here was supposed to originally be against the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Unfortunately, our friends from the north there got snowed in, so unable to make it down to Albuquerque, where it's actually beautiful and sunny here. You know, who would have thought in early February? But looking ahead to this game, JJ, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I think the fans, well, you always want to see your team go against competition, especially the Western Conference rival in the Switchbacks. They're going to get a chance to see every player on the roster today, and that is huge. First taste for a lot of the newcomers, and then, of course, players to watch today.
The Lumen Optical Wellness players to watch here today for Team Somos. It's got to be number 9, the hometown hero, Devin Sandoval. Scored the first goal in New Mexico United history. Of course, had a stellar initial season with the black and yellow, making 24 starts, scoring 11 goals.
And for Sandoval, a lot is going to be on his shoulders early. He's their starting number 9. They need to develop some depth right there. There's young players that are going to get an opportunity, but Devin Sandoval, a lot on him in the attack early in the season.
And on the flip side here for Team Unidos, it's a new addition, number 10, Armando Moreno. Of course, has a little bit to live up to wearing that number 10, previously worn last year by Kevon Frater, who led the team in scoring. So some big shoes to fill for Armando, but I don't think he's really going to struggle with that here. JJ, of course, coming to us from Chicago Fire of MLS last year.
Yeah, wearing the number 10, but he's going to be asked to fill the spot of Asante Mawar. Is it going to be a Daniel Bruce? So looking for that speed, that acceleration, pace on the wings. That's important for the way the United plays.
Elevate Performance, Health, and Wellness is the official workout facility of New Mexico United. We had a chance to catch up with head athletic trainer Tyler Harris at Elevate to discuss the team's preseason preparations.
I'm Tyler Harris, head athletic trainer for New Mexico United, and we just finished up our workout here at Elevate. The guys went through a little circuit workout, just got the heart rate up, getting prepped for preseason. The experience that they have here and the care that they put into helping put the workouts together, as well as just giving one-on-one advice with the players with whatever questions they have. It's just another voice that they give to our players, and they just help us perform at our peak levels. It's great to start off with team workouts here when we can get the whole team together. They're doing workouts together. They're kind of going through the pain together. It just puts everybody in a really good place, mentally and physically going into preseason, and we're really looking forward to getting going. I think for the new guys coming in, it's a good chance to see kind of what we're all about, not only in our environments during training, but also outside doing team activities here at Elevate, and just shows them a different perspective, and just shows how they can work together and achieve great things together. It's been fun to watch. This is all preparatory work, just getting ready for our preseason, which starts in February. So these next 2 weeks, it's just really about getting their bodies to move in the right way, being able to absorb force, to work on their strength, their mobility, their stability, and doing it all in one place here with the expertise that Jay and Adrian and the other guys bring, all the coaches here at Elevate. It's been fantastic to be able to work with them. And also, we're able to do body composition, able to do functional movement screens with the players, able to work on nutrition. So it's just not one aspect, it's really a comprehensive approach to the players and the team.
My name is Adrian Gonzalez. I am the head strength and conditioning coach and a partner here at Elevate Performance, Health, and Wellness here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So Elevate started 7 years ago. We've been working with the New Mexico United team for the last 2 seasons, their inaugural season and this year, 2020, and we're excited to be a part of the New Mexico United experience. We look forward to our partnership with them because we're trying to bring the best in performance, health, wellness training to the best of USL soccer.
So let's go ahead and look at some starting lineups here for today. We'll start with the proverbial away team, who is Team Unidos here. They're going to be led up top by the new signing, the youngster, Sammy Sergi. Of course, you've got Romeo Parks to his left, Armando Moreno to his right, David Nagem, who's a recent signing here by New Mexico United. Of course, you've got a couple of familiar faces in Ryan Williams and Juan Guzman, a couple of trialists here today, number 26, Pablo Palais, as well as number 13, Connor Rutz, and Ben Geary will be in goal today for Team Unidos.
And a player to watch will be number 7, Ryan Williams, second year with the team, dropping back in that holding midfield position, looking for a little more creation out of one of those two players.
And now for Team Somos, of course, we talked about Devin Sandoval being up top. You've got the captain, Josh Suggs, on the left-hand side. A lot of creativity in that midfield between Daniel Bruce and Chris Weehan sitting behind him. You've got a couple of rocks in Sam Hamilton, Salih Muhammad. And how about this back line? The addition of Kalen Ryden, that's something we didn't touch on just a second ago. But him, Justin Schmidt, Manny Padilla, right there ahead of Cody Mazel.
And for Ryden, 28-year-old veteran center back, won a championship last season with Real Monarchs. 6'2", brings size and competition at a position that United did need some depth, center back.
And New Mexico United, of course, led by head coach Troy Lesane. This is his second year at the helm of the black and yellow. Of course, last year guided the team to a 10th place finish in the USL Championship Western Conference. And that record was 11 wins, 10 losses, 13 draws. That was good enough to earn them a playoff berth, where they traveled to Sacramento, lost in the first round. But in lieu of that, of course, JJ, who could forget that memorable U.S. Open Cup run that saw them get all the way to the quarterfinals, knock off a couple of MLS teams before eventually falling to Minnesota United.
It was a tremendous year for Troy Lesane and the program that he put in place for these players. He also learned a lot from last season, navigating the season, the U.S. Open Cup, and you're going to see that with this roster as they tried to build the depth. They can make another run potentially in the U.S. Open Cup and have a stronger finish to the regular season.
You know, and when you look at these lineups here today, JJ, it's really a lot of the old guard against a lot of the new guys. That when you look at Team Somos, it's all familiar faces for the exception of Kalen Ryden, who's stepping in, and Rashid Tete you'll see playing in the back line there for Team Unidos. But the guys in yellow, it's a lot of the newcomers, like I was saying, they're going to be fighting for a place here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now you can look at Somos as the first team, but they're going to need those players on Unidos to step up. Romeo Parks, not just playing on the wing, but potentially being someone that can start up top if Devin Sandoval needs a rest or if they go two up top in the formation. And New Mexico United had success with first-year players last year. Daniel Bruce is standout, who is back. So I'm really excited for Pelez and Sergi up top, college strikers last year at Xavier and San Diego State, to see what they can bring to the table.
Yeah, Sergi just has a knack for scoring goals. He led the Big East in goals scored a couple of his 4 years there at Xavier. So going to be really excited to watch. Of course, we touched on David Nagem. He's a member of the Afghanistan national team. So it's not very often do you get to bring in guys like this in just your second year as a franchise.
Yeah, and what's interesting is some of the newcomers have played together. So there's some relationships, East Coast guys, New York Red Bulls too, where a lot of these guys spend a year or two together. So they bring that to the table. And team chemistry, I think, is going to be huge for this squad. The amount of players that they were able to return is going to help them take a step forward next season. And not only the talent like a Kalen Ryden in the back line, but having just that been there, done that attitude to finish games out and turn some of those draws, 13 of them, into wins.
And a huge amount of draws, and you touched on Kalen Ryden, 2019 USL Cup winner with Real Monarchs. He made 67 appearances for them over the past couple of years, and both years was voted Defensive Player of the Year for that squad. So really just speaks to the pedigree coming in with Kalen.
Yeah, and right in with Justin Schmidt, veteran guys that are experienced, Rashad Tete backing them up. That is a really good trio to have in your back line.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad
beautiful rendition of our national anthem there by Miss Leah Black. And that means we are closer and closer to kickoff here, JJ. Now, of course, we can talk all about the new additions, but when you look at this team from last year, you're missing Santi Moar, you're missing Kavan Frater, two big goal-scoring machines there for New Mexico United. How do you really see this team being able to make that up?
Well, it's going to be with, I think, Chris Weehan and Devin Sandoval setting the tone, and Weehan playing underneath Sandoval. I think what Troy Lesane figured out is this 4-2-3-1 formation is best for the players in the team. You have the fullbacks that are going to get high in Padilla and Suggs that bring creating scoring opportunities, but they're going to need one of those holding midfielders to step up and be more of a creator. That's why we're going to have eyes on Ryan Williams and, of course, new signee Andrew Tanari, who's just added to the team this week. They can get a little bit more creativity out of the midfield. They got good defensive players right there, but to help the attack, they need one of those guys to be able to go forward. And also, Tyler, controlling the games from midfield. That is a way to see it out, not just having good back line, but we saw this United team get pelted with shots time and time again. So having that midfield step up, control the ball, will help take some of the pressure off Cody Mazel, who did a lot of work last season.
Yeah, a lot of work for Cody Mazel. 82 saves for Mazel last year, but on the flip side, conceded 54 goals, JJ. He did have 3 clean sheets, of course, one save of the week 4 times, one save of the month in August. So he's in red today. So we can't exactly call him El Gato Naranja, but I'm sure we're going to see those cat-like reflexes on display from Cody Mazel today.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Troy Lesane in year 2 handles the goalkeeper. Because Cody, he's a guy that if he played 7 days a week, he'd start in goal and play every minute of it. But he had 32 appearances. Ben Bury, showed some nice promise. And then, of course, the new addition to the roster as well, Beigel, who comes over from playing in Germany recently. So some depth at that position, and we'll see how Troy wants to play it out. But no doubt about it, Cody Mazel, the number 1 for this team.
Yeah, we've got Mazel and Bury starting for either team here today. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get a chance to see Philip Beigel here today. As you said, previously played in the German 5th tier at TSV Landsberg, also with Penn FC here in the States. So it looks like Team Unidos will get things underway. They are in yellow today. Team Somos in black, and that's Juan Guzman in the center circle. Looks like he's just about ready to get things underway. Of course, it's a beautiful day here at the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex. We're in the high 50s. Should see us top out here today at about 65 degrees, and we're underway. It's Tete as he gets it over to Rutz, and that's the first touch there for Austin Yearwood, another familiar face from this team. A little bit of high pressure coming out from Team Somos right off the bat. He's forced them back into their own 18. That was Pelez, gets it up to Moreno. Williams now in the midfield. Tete's going to play the diagonal ball. That was a great touch on that ball to Yearwood, and Sergei just tries to flick it on for Parks, but a little bit of a miscommunication, but a little bit of promise shown there right off the bat.
Absolutely, and what you see with New Mexico is the players up top have to interchange with the pressure, with Weehan pushing up, Sandoval drop back, those holding midfielders coming up, but the size that they're facing from Parks and Sergei up top will be a nice test for the experience of Team Somos.
Rutz gets ahead on that ball. It's Parks. Parks spent his most recent time in Ireland playing for Sligo Rovers. Had 11 goals and 28 appearances for them in the Irish top flight. It's Moreno. Guzman now back out to Nagem. And that was a great touch there by Sergei. Getting down the end. Hamilton comes in, pokes it away, and it's going to be a throw-in for Team Unidos.
Right there, the rookie against the veteran center back, and that's a challenge with what Troy Lesane wants to do. These guys are going to be pressing high, so you got to be ready for that one touch if it gets by you.
Moreno will get it into Ryan Williams and gets it right back. Pokes it in. It's Pelez, the rookie out of SDSU. Poked away by Hamilton. Sandoval wins the header against Tete. Sandoval quickly surrounded by the yellow jerseys of Team Unidos, and now Weehan will go on a run. It was a great ball by Daniel Bruce, chasing it down, but just unable to get there.
Chris Weehan spent 5 years at the University of Mexico redshirt season, then played for Jeremy Fishbein and the Lobos. He has had some magical moments on this pitch.
Had a few former Lobos, of course, Devin Sandoval out here as well. There's Parks on the far side. And one thing I think that people will notice the most here, JJ, this year is the size that New Mexico United have in bringing in Ryden. You've got Parks, you've got Sergi. Set pieces were something that they did have a little trouble with last year. Should really be a different story this year, I believe.
Well, especially defensively at times in the second half of this season. Early in the year, New Mexico, their set piece execution was something that benefited them getting on the board. So having that size in both offensive and defensive situations is really going to help this team.
Kalen Ryden. Give it right back to Justin Schmidt. Gets it up to David Estrada. Recently celebrated a birthday. The veteran on the squad, David Estrada here. Of course, played for the Seattle Sounders of MLS. Way back to Mazel.
And Tyler, we were talking about David Estrada and his role on this team. Of course, he's a great guy to have, his character, his experience, but how's he going to fit in? Is he going to be in the starting 11? Is he someone that's going to possibly come in off the bench to see games out? Because they do have a lot of young, interesting talent in the wings.
Yeah, they've brought in a lot of depth. Of course, the emergence of Daniel Bruce last year. We saw him starting to get a few starts as the season went on. So, kind of like you said, JJ, it is going to be interesting to see the way that Troy Lesane decides who gets in that 11 every week. Here's Tete. Gets it up to Moreno, and Moreno just nutmeg Josh Suggs there. I don't think the captain liked that one too much.
Already, and so we talked about these guys are hungry. Yeah, they've been going against each other in training, but this is an opportunity. You're going to get a different energy with the fans in attendance early in training, and you're seeing it that these guys are ready to go today.
Diagonal ball played over to Yearwood. Now back to Rutz. Rutz, he's a trialist here today. He's made 26 appearances for the Cincinnati Dutch Lions of USL League 2 over the past couple of years. He scored 3 goals, notched 3 assists for them. That was a savvy touch by the veteran David Nagem, and Daniel Bruce commits the foul. Play it back to Tete. Plays over to Yearwood. He's marked by Padilla. Padilla, a big part of New Mexico United's offense last year. He led the team in assists with 7. Not a great ball. It's going to be a throw in here for Team Somos. Kalen Ryden. Not a great ball there from Ryden either, as Suggs was a little bit high up.
And that's what Ryden's going to have to get used to, is these fullbacks push up the field. So we've seen it with Schmidt, Ryden. Yeah, they're going to be on the ball a lot, but they're going to be by themselves when United's on the attack.
Williams. Back to Ben Bury. Bury got a little bit of playing time on this field last year, of course, in that international friendly against Cardiff City, where he conceded 1 goal to the Bluebirds. It was a great showing by all standards there for Bury.
And I think it was a big moment for him, just getting confidence and then showing the coaches the ability he had.
That's a foul there called on Ryan Williams. Free kick coming up here for Team Somos as Weehan and Sandoval had a little 1-2 going. Let's have another look at that. As you can see, Weehan pokes it over and is taken out by Williams. But if Williams doesn't do that, Weehan's getting a free run into the 18. Looks like Chris Weehan will take the free kick here. It's a dangerous spot looking towards that back post and all the height on Team Somos. Gets it in, and that one was on a line to Ben Bury.
And that's a moment for Weehan. Well, you're putting it in and you're going to see if someone runs on it or maybe try to catch Bury off guard just a little bit, get that rebound, but easy for the keeper.
Nagem. Now Guzman. Rutz will get it over to Yearwood on the far side. Moreno now has switched over. He and Parks have switched sides. Moreno out on the left. Yearwood now, he's pulled back. The ref will play on. Pelays now. Pelays slides it across and chipped away by Suggs, and almost an own goal there, JJ.
Yeah, Josh Suggs, last second defending. Let's take a look at this replay because that ball was going to be right in a great position for the runner on the near post right here, Parks. And the Mazel, lucky as well as that one goes just wide.
And that was great vision from the youngster Pelays on the break to see Romeo Parks. But, of course, the veteran Josh Suggs, right place, right time. Here comes a corner for Team Unidos, and it's Armando Moreno. To the near post, and it's poked away by Sam Hamilton. He beats Austin Yearwood to that ball. Weehan has that one poked out by Yearwood.
And the Team Unidos, they have some good players, but they have Somos' attention early in this one. Some of these veterans realizing, all right, these guys are coming to play in this inter-squad scrimmage, and we're seeing some good possession and build-up so far.
Back to Mazel. Yeah, you said it earlier, JJ, in the pregame. You know, these guys are going to be hungry. They're fighting to get a place on that 22-man travel squad. Suggs was able to save it. Popped out by Sammy Sergi. I was able to make it out to training one day this week, and the one word that you heard consistently coming up from these guys, whether it was the players, the coaching staff, some of the new assistant coaches, the culture that Troy Lesane is establishing here. You know, it's something that all these guys want to be a part of from the outside looking in. Here's Bruce, and Bruce shoved off by Parks, and Brucey a little bit theatrical with it, but it was a foul.
Yeah, the big Parks, which, you know, seeing him play on the wing just shows his athleticism. Yeah, and Bruce taking that contact, and you know, Parks, a newcomer. You know, he's not a young guy per se. He's a veteran that's played a lot of soccer, but he's trying to show everyone in attendance today what he's all about.
Weihan and Suggs once again. It looks like it's going to be Weihan to take this one. Sends it in, back post, and that one's headed away by Sergi. Padilla comes up with it, and he'll play it back into the box. Bury rises up and snatches it from right in front of Sandoval.
Good job, Bury. Through traffic, had eyes on the ball the whole way. Brought in with two hands.
Now Team Unidos on the break as Yearwood will pull it back and reset. It's Guzman in the midfield. Parks picked up by Muhammad. And Parks turns it over. It's going to be poked back to the back line of Team Unidos.
Well, Parks, there's not many guys you see 6'4" able to play on the wing and showcase that athleticism. I think it's going to be a great chess piece for Troy Lesane because he's definitely someone that's going to get opportunities to play up top, but they are interchangeable with this style.
It's Justin Schmidt into Sam Hamilton, and it's a nice tackle there by Ryan Williams.
Do you think there's a little more bodies on the ground that you expected even early in this one?
I think so. I think so. And as you can see, Williams coming in, taking out the plant foot there of David Estrada. Williams, 15 appearances for the black and yellow last year, 10 of them starts. 2 goals, 1 assist. Of course, look to build on that in his sophomore season. Here he is with the interception, gets it up to Sergei. He's marked by Ryden. Sergei cuts it across and tried to scorch one, and that one is going to go out for a goal kick.
Little ambitious for the rookie. You're going to see there are a couple runners coming on the far side. Puts his left foot through it.
Yeah, that was a nice little cut back there to shake free of Ryden, and Moreno was asking to just pull it back a little bit. And maybe the nerves kicking in for the youngster Sammy Sergei there.
Those are moments, though, he'll learn when he has the runners in the box, lay that one off, and he had two guys right there on the doorstep.
A couple of headers. See Salim Muhammad end up with it. Mazel will get it out to Padilla. Oh, and that's a bad pass and almost intercepted there by Sergei. Nice little one touch from Suggs, and here's Bruce. And Bruce is stripped by Tete. And that's why Tete was a mainstay in that defensive line of New Mexico United last year.
Now these center backs for New Mexico United have impressive footwork. You don't mind them on the ball, even pushing forward a bit.
Acrobatic interception there by Muhammad. They'll spread it out to Bruce here on the near side, and that ball just ran away on the dead grass here.
Yeah, it's a fast pitch today. Early spring, not quite here yet. And these guys are seeing a low bounce of the ball, low extra bounce, but that touch on it, it's got to be good to corral it on this pitch.
Nagem and Guzman working a little 1-2, poked out by Daniel Bruce, and it's going to be a throw-in. Of course, you'll notice the new threads on New Mexico United this season is recently announced a new apparel and merchandise partnership with Puma.
It still looks just as good. One of the best jerseys we saw in the USL Championship, and the fans just ate them up last year.
Of course, with that historic partnership with Meow Wolf on the front of the jersey, it's going to be more of the same this year, except it's going to be Puma adorning the chest. And, you know, JJ, I've seen a sneak peek in these jerseys. Man, if you think they couldn't get any better last year, just wait.
Oh, well, the line, you know, will be around the block at the team store.
And that's a bad pass by Muhammad. Here's Sergei on the right foot, and it's poked out by Cody Mazel. And Team Somos, they've gotten away with a few of those early on, JJ. That time they weren't so fortunate.
Yeah, you'd expect those guys to be better on the back end with their passes, but they just have not put enough pace on them at all. And Cody Mazel, what he did a ton last year, doing it again, stepping up with the big save.
This corner kick is brought to you by Bank of America. Armando Moreno is down there to take. See, it's a slight breeze out here today, but overall the temperature is beautiful as that one's sent away. Go all the way back to Ben Bury. Bury will just get that one away. Parks challenging with Schmidt. And we mentioned the size of these new signings, JJ, and there you got a glimpse of it.
Absolutely, and this has been an impressive 16 minutes, man. These guys are going at it. They're not holding back. Yes, you want to come out of this clean, but they've realized what a big opportunity this is in a different setting, in a game. You know, it's not a controlled training. You're out there playing, and your reactions have to be on point.
Williams in the midfield, back to Rutz. Bury got one start in league play last year, of course, when Cody Mazel was injured, and I believe that was against Phoenix Rising, where he did concede. But along the way, 3 saves in that game, and that one poked away there by Muhammad, but falls to Rutz.
I look at playing against Phoenix last year. Mexico had a ton of success against them. They were just unbelievable, the run that they went on. Unable to get it done at the end, but Phoenix is definitely back for more this season.
Nagem, a little too heavy of a first touch there, but you can see Team Unidos really starting to get forward here. It's Estrada in the center circle. You know, and one thing we did forget to mention, since this is a inter-squad friendly here, it's going to be 2 30-minute halves today. So instead of the full 90 minutes, they'll play 60 minutes.
And I think some of the guys are okay with that because you look down and no one on the bench. So
I think the only ones on the bench might be Tanari, who's the recent signing that was announced just yesterday, actually, a little bit more than 24 hours ago, we should say. But we should be able to see Tanari get a nice little run out today. Williams will switch it over to Austin Yearwood. Yearwood gets it back to his former college teammate, Rashid Tete. Played together at High Point University. Ball sent forward and bounces around a little bit. Moreno comes up with it. Armando Moreno. And he's run down by Mohamed. No foul, says the official. And Padilla there is fouled. That one's going to go against Romeo Parks. And looks like he took a little bit of a knock there.
Yeah, just a lot of contact right there. Moreno right at the top of the box. Take a second look at it right here.
You can see the step over and trying to set it up on his left foot, but Mohamed comes in. And Schmidt is actually down in the penalty box for Team Somos. So the athletic trainer Tyler Harris will head out to have a look over at Justin Schmidt. And as you said, not anybody on the bench today, JJ, so we'll see what happens here if Schmidt's unable to continue.
Yeah, this is definitely not what you want to see, but these guys are going at it at a high level. Now, if this was a regular season game, there would have been a blow-up from the bench for no call right there on that Moreno tackle, but then you see Romero Parks, so he's throwing his body around, trying to make a statement. You know, someone that we're praising his athleticism out there on the wing, but he's going to make sure you know how big he is.
And Justin Schmidt is up and walking, looks to be okay. He was a very important part of this New Mexico United team last year, making 29 appearances, all of them starts. He was voted the New Mexico United Defender of the Year by his own teammates, so just tells you how crucial of a role this guy plays.
Yeah, and he's also such a big part of this community and what he has meant to this team in year one. His ability on the ball is huge for what New Mexico United want to do, and I think what's really going to help him is having another veteran center back to help take a little bit of pressure off, you know, with Weihan now in the fold.
Here's Schmidt. Play a long ball, but that's cut out by Moreno. Team Unidos has options. Moreno cuts it over and maybe takes one touch too many, and Williams tries to go for a wonder goal, but mishits, and it's going out for a throw-in for Team Somos.
And now it's Sergei looking back at Moreno going, hey, lay it off to me. These guys are still getting used to each other.
Bruce takes a little bit of a hack there. They'll call the foul against Armando Moreno. Weihan will take this free kick here. Send it forward for Sandoval, but Tete ends up winning that header. It's Pelaez thought about laying it off there. Instead, cuts it into Parks. Parks turns it over. It's intercepted by Estrada, but now it's Tete and Yearwood. Back to Yearwood. Cross into the box, but met by Justin Schmidt. Daniel Bruce will send it out.
I do like the creativity we're seeing from Sergei, Pelaez, and Moreno. Of course, with Parks, those guys, you know, getting forward and putting pressure on Somos backline.
Williams tried to one-touch it. Now he'll get it up to Sergi. Sergi's found some space, has a hack, and that one's parried away by Cody Mazel. You know, I think so far, JJ, through the first 23 minutes is we have another look at that. Sergi sees the target and rips one. It's Team Unidos that have really had some of the more threatening positions, I should say.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of some turnovers by Somos, some lazy passes on the back line. And for Sergi, you're talking about a guy that scored 29 career goals at Xavier, 4th program history. First team Big East last season, so he comes in with a great college pedigree and he's showing it off early.
There's Connor Rutz. And Rutz dribbles out. A little tough to see the lines painted on the field here today. Of course, it is early February in the land of enchantment. Schmidt plays it forward. Just mishandled there by Weehan. Guzman now plays, and just a little bit of a miscommunication there with Romeo Parks.
Of course, being here at the UNM Soccer Complex, there's always a conversation in American soccer, the role of collegiate soccer in the hierarchy. But one of the things you're seeing with the USL Championship, it is a great place for these guys to go. They're impactful players. They're even going to the next level after that. But some might question the system right now, the hierarchy of it, but we're seeing guys get a great opportunity in the USL Championship coming from the collegiate ranks.
You know, a lot of these guys on this field did play in those collegiate ranks. Devin Sandoval being one of them. David Estrada playing at UCLA. That one's going to be poked out. It's a throw in here. And most recently, it looks like Daniel Bruce coming over from UNC Charlotte. He actually played a couple of games here over the years in his college career against the Lobos.
He's a member of Conference USA at the time.
Suggs with the throw in, and it's just headed right out by the flying Hawaiian, Ryan Williams. Again, just a reminder, we are playing 2 30-minute halves for this preseason inter-squad friendly. We've got about 5 minutes until we hit the allotted 30 and then go into some stoppage time. Not a whole lot of stoppage time so far here, JJ.
And it'll be interesting with the physicality that we've seen, how much they want to let these guys go today.
Hamilton just dispossessed there from behind. And here comes Team Unidos. It's David Nagem making the run, lays it off for Armando Moreno. Moreno loves that step over, you can tell. A little bit of a scrum in the midfield there as Mohamed is hacked by Moreno. It's going to be a foul called against number 10, Armando Moreno.
I think everyone is enjoying this one so far. These guys are in it. They're not holding back. They're going at each other. They're trying to prove a point. They're trying to show what this team is going to be heading into the season.
You know, and when you've got a team that's this deep, that's probably best case scenario if you're Troy Lesane. You know, these guys are going to be going at each other in practice every single day, making each other better.
Yeah, and it's, as we touched on, just the different environment you get here today, some energy from the fans, you know, being outside of that controlled training environment where you can really start to let your instincts go and just play the game.
Sandoval whiffs on that challenge attempt as Rutz in possession into the veteran Juan Guzman. And that's a miscommunication there between Guzman and Yearwood. It's going to be a throw-in for Team Somos. Right in back to Mazel. Schmidt has that pass picked off by Parks. Parks trying to weave his way through the midfield, and he's going to be fouled by Sam Hamilton. Hamilton drafted in the first round of the MLS Super Draft by the Colorado Rapids at number 15 overall last year for New Mexico United. 18 appearances, 14 starts, scored a couple of goals.
And as the season went on, Hamilton didn't have to play as much center back. He moved up to that holding midfield role, which was much better for him and the team overall.
And if you recall, he was injured in the season opener where he started at center back, and after that, Tete came in, and hats off to Rashid Tete as he held that spot down from there on out. Parks has a go and goes for the near post, but just sends it wide. Cody Mazel had to be awake back there.
Absolutely, that's quite a distance just to get Cody's attention, putting that one low. And on goal, as we see, it wasn't the best of strikes from Park, but did a good job to keep that one low, and that's going to be a challenge on the ground.
Oh, and Moreno goes for a ride there on the back of Josh Suggs. Suggs will get us back underway. Beautifully placed long ball to Justin Schmidt. Into Hamilton. Padilla. It's Justin Schmidt. Back to Salim Muhammad. Well, that's a great dummy by Estrada, but Padilla just wasn't there. Yearwood here to take the throw in. Yearwood made 17 appearances. 11 of those were starts for New Mexico United last year. The foul called there against Justin Schmidt.
And there were some impressive performances by first-year young players on this United team. Yearwood, one of those guys that earned some minutes throughout the season. Of course, Daniel Bruce coming back, Tete, and it's a credit to Troy Lesane and his staff for an expansion franchise to not just bring in the veterans they did, but to be able to find some of the young talent as well.
Tete sends that one down. He's looking for Serge I, but it was poked away by Kalen Ryden. Estrada is stripped. Hamilton over to Padilla. And Manny Padilla hasn't gotten forward as we're used to seeing Padilla get. Muhammad now in the midfield has that one cut out by Williams. Here comes Pablo Pelez. He's got Moreno making the run, and perhaps just a touch too late on that pass was Pelez.
Good step from the veteran center back.
Guzman will play it back to Rutz. And no stoppage time at the end of the first half. That is the first half whistle here as Team Somos deadlocked with Team Unidos at the break. 0 goals apiece. What'd you see so far there in that first half there, JJ?
Well, what stood out to me was the physicality. Much more contact than I expected. These guys, I expected plenty of energy, but they're really going at each other, getting on the ground, being physical, going into the tackles. But Team Unidos, a lot of the young guys, new signees to the roster, looking very good in that first half.
As New Mexico United gears up for year 2, we sat down with some of the players to get their perspective on 2019 and their goals for 2020. In this episode, Justin Schmidt reflects on year 1, the memories of his father, and the upcoming season.
Growing up here, I never thought I would be playing professional soccer in New Mexico. To actually be able to put on a jersey with the New Mexico crest on it meant a lot as you just kept going through the season, as you saw just the reaction from the fans, from the crowd, even just the people in the organization. You really started to develop a major sense of pride just for the state, the team, and just yourself being from New Mexico. I do remember the initial surprise. I know that it was said there was going to be, we were close to sold out as we were going into the game. I remember hearing that. I remember, seeing fans who were excited, but I guess I was just kind of surprised to see everyone's so excited and so ready for something that hadn't been here before, something that had been tried but just hadn't been successful. And so I honestly just remember kind of being wide-eyed for a moment, maybe not literally, but going on in my head, I was like, all right. I was like, they're here for us. It's our turn. My dad always lived by like one verse, Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary of doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a good harvest if you do not give up. Whether or not I had known in my mind that's what I was trying to do with my life, I knew I was trying to make my dad proud. That's every boy, right? You're like, I want to make my mom and my dad proud. His passing obviously, shook me awake and gave me a better, understanding of why he was like trying to do that. And I don't want that legacy to just stop. I don't want it to be over. A lot of it will look the same just with, how I continue to be involved with the community. But, there will be hopefully steps here in the future, in the near future, where, I get to continue that. It's really easy. It really is to get tired of, doing, for the sake of the verse, good things when you're not getting anything in return. I mean, it's a very easy thing. And it's even easier to continue doing those good things when there's reward. But I don't want that to be the case. I want my legacy to be similar to his. Someone who didn't grow weary of, doing good, of trying to be there for people, of reaching out in whatever way, of loving on someone who, either doesn't get that often or doesn't deserve it necessarily, because none of us do, let's be real. But it's kind of, that's his legacy. It's not over. It doesn't end. Scoring the goal with my mom and my brother there was just a special moment. It's hard to really have more words than that. The armband was, that's my dad with me. When I get to play, me holding it up was just, a sign that he's not forgotten. It's not something that I ignore. It's another thing when tragedy hits. It's easy to ignore it and just try something else. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm gonna shut it out. But I feel like in moments like that, where in the past I would have been able to celebrate with him, in my mind I still can. It just looks a little bit different, especially to someone on the outside. But he's still with me. He's still with my family, and so that was really the only way in that moment that I could think to remind people of that. And if anybody, just specifically, my mom and my brother, that he's not gone. For the team, it's just finding success that it deserves, and success that I guess we have to earn. And so, you don't always get what you deserve, but you can earn it. It just takes, that extra added level of effort that the other person might not be willing to put in. And I think, it is something that we can do. But the standards that we set last year, that's not the goal. That's never the goal. Your last year is done and gone with, but the standards only get better from there. And I would say that everyone here agrees with that. And if they don't, then they're going to get on board very quickly. But luckily, I think we have the right people, and they know we only go up from where we've been.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, to the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex. Tyler Ortega here alongside JJ Buck. And JJ, an eventful first half, although no goals on the scoreboard. There, of course, a great shot of the curse. The supporters group, they were here early this morning, 9 a.m., getting the tailgate going, doing what they do, of course, their march to the match. The tradition that they've been able to build in just over a year, JJ, has been nothing short of phenomenal as we look at some of these highlights here from the first half. Chris Weehan had a couple of good opportunities at the corners, but just couldn't find anybody in black.
Yeah, really for Somos, it was a couple free kick opportunities, ball into the box. The chances came from Unidos, as we're going to see here.
Yeah, Sammy Sergi was able to get a few good looks on goal, and there you could see Moreno, Williams both asking him to play that one across, and another one by Sergi, that time with the left foot. Cody Mazel has had to come up and make a few big saves.
He has, and it's due to passes like that, weak passes out of the back line, turnovers, and just leading to opportunities going back the other way. But Armando Moreno had that one poked away. Right there is really showing off his skills as someone that can easily slot in to the starting 11 on the wing, as with Romero Parks right here, who his free kick opportunity did a good job keeping that one low, and Cody gave it the dive just a look, but it stayed wide.
So again, here at the break, 0 goals apiece. Of course, we are playing 30-minute halves. We've got about 3 minutes until the second half gets underway, so we're going to step aside for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Just over a minute left until this second half kicks off. Team Unidos has really had Team Somos on their heels so far, JJ. It's going to be interesting to see which team is finally able to break through, if one of them are able to break through here in the second half.
Yeah, and I think it's been a shocker to those watching this game, because look at Team Somos right now, and it's the de facto first team lineup from what we saw last year. Unidos in the yellow, a lot of the newcomers, not just first-year guys, but the new additions to the roster, they're looking good. They're taking advantage of some turnovers from Team Somos. Cody Mazel having to step up once in that first half. But this has been a really good 30 minutes. You knew there's going to be energy. The guys were going to go after it, but it's been even better than I thought, just in terms of the physicality, the aggression that they're showing. Because you got to remember, these guys are trying to earn a pro contract. Like, they're trying to get those minutes to make a living and be a part of something big here at New Mexico United. So they're not going to take it slow. They're not going to back off a half step, and we saw that in that opening half.
You know, and we did touch on a lot of the new additions on the player side for New Mexico United. We've had a few new additions to the technical side as well. The coaching staff, Zach Prince, of course, has been elevated to first assistant coach. He's the one giving direction to Team Unidos today, as well as Gavin Glinton. Gavin recently served as coach for the U13, U14 Academy at Sac Republic, and now we've got Peter Davis, another assistant coach who formerly served as goalkeeper director for Idea Sports Soccer Academy and Montverde Academy.
And these guys have a lot of experience with youth, and that's going to be something that we will see this year with New Mexico United. Last year it was the creation of the High Performance Youth Academy, and this year it is the under-23 team that's going to be around. So those guys having that experience is going to be big, bringing that to the table.
Looks like Team Unidos is out on the field. Team Somos still getting a little bit of direction from head coach Troy Lassane. And if you're Troy Lassane right now, JJ, what are you telling these guys?
I think you're actually looking around and going, you're supposed to be the veterans. You guys are the de facto starting lineup right now. You need to see a better final 30 minutes, the passes in the back, creating chances going forward. I don't think there was a shot on goal from the run of play from Team Somos in that first half, outside of a couple free kick opportunities into the box, but nothing dangerous on goal. So better in the back, and of course try to create something on goal.
Yeah, I think the hang-up is when you get to the midfield there. Of course, they've got Daniel Bruce, they've got Chris Weehan, Devin Sandoval up top. The main issue is that we're not seeing these forwards getting forward and really making those runs.
Yeah, and that's the new additions we're talking about, the opportunity for someone to really step up. They have good holding midfielders on this team, but who's that player that can step up and be that creative force from the midfield when they get the ball at the feet, be the outlet so they don't have to play the long balls. They're not always just relying on the fullbacks to bring it up.
And it looks like Cody Mazel will stay out there for Team Somos, as will Ben Bury for Team Unidos. I don't see any changes just yet here for either side, as Philip Beigel as well as Andrew Tanari are on the bench here for New Mexico United. So it looks like we're just about ready to get things underway. Team Somos will start off with possession here at Sam Hamilton. Actually, it's going to be Chris Weehan stepping into the center circle to get us back underway. And last year in this preseason friendly, of course, they did play Denver University, and it was scoreless until Devin Sandoval came in and hit the game winner with less than 15 minutes to go. So we'll see if there's a little bit of late magic here in store for either of these sides.
Yeah, and I expect we'll see more chances because now the guys have a feeling of how this is going to play out. I'm sure it's easy to say, hey, we're going to go at it, be prepared, but until you really get on that pitch and you realize, oh, Parks is really coming at me. Oh, now I'm going at it with Moreno. Now they're settled in and ready for the second half.
One thing that you can't simulate in practice is game speed. And that ball golfed forward for Romeo Parks. It's a foot race, and Justin Schmidt getting there, and it's going to go off of Justin Schmidt. Corner kick coming up for Team Unidos.
Schmidt looking for the whistle, was not going to get it, so right off the bat, corner upcoming.
This corner kick is brought to you, of course, by Bank of America, as Team Unidos looking to cash in here. It's Armando Moreno to swing this one in, and goes near post, and Sam Hamilton is the first one to get to it. Guzman. The cursor out in full effect as the smell of their smoke bombs has made its way up to the press box.
It's a midday sulfur.
Bruce sends it up for David Estrada. Estrada does well to work his way out of that. He was triple teamed. And a switch of play over to Suggs and Weehan. Salih Muhammad. You see a beautiful day, not even a cloud in the sky today. Absolute perfect conditions here for early February in the land of enchantment. Padilla deflects that one forward for Estrada, but beat out by Austin Yearwood there, and it's going to be a throw-in coming in for Team Somos. Sandoval. And just a little out of reach of David Estrada.
I think it's a bit surprising when we see Somos, the guys that played a lot of minutes together last year. Yes, it's early. It's the first preseason action for them in this capacity, but to be kind of a step off that they have been today.
Touch forward by Pelaez, and now spread out for David Nagem. And Nagem was just unable to save that one there. It's a throw-in coming up for Team Somos. Sam Hamilton. Padilla now up to David Estrada on the near side. And Estrada just has his pocket picked. Sergi. And you can tell, JJ, I don't think these guys are used to the field playing so fast.
Yeah, I know it's dry. You're going to get a little extra bounce as well on the ball. But also just the pressure we're seeing from Unidos in the yellow that's causing some of the poor passes as well.
Beery will Play it out to David Nagem. Nagem looking for Sergi up top, but that one cut out by Ryden. And now picked away. Here comes Armando Moreno. Sergi lays it off for Moreno. Left-footed shot! And it goes just wide. Let's have another look at that there. We saw a few of these opportunities in the first half. Moreno just unable to connect with it as he wanted.
But that's the moments that they weren't able to be on the same page with in the first half, and we see early here in the second half those guys working that 1-2.
Moreno in the center circle. Now it's Pelays. You know, these trialists here today, JJ, normally when you see a trialist, you're usually able to pick them out just by watching, but these guys are fitting right in.
Oh, absolutely. And, someone like Pablo Pelays, looking at his collegiate career, that's an impressive performance that he was able to have playing San Diego State in the Pac-12, and it just goes to what this coaching staff is able to do. They did the same thing last year, being able to find these guys, bring them in, and maybe find a diamond in the rough.
You touched on that stellar college career. He was the team captain over there for the Aztecs. Last year, 18 starts in 18 appearances, had 4 goals, 4 assists for the Aztecs. Here's Daniel Bruce. Doing a little bit of dancing, gets to the end line and hits that one straight at Ben Bury.
Good positioning by Bury, just holding firm on that far post.
Plays. Rutz, the other trialist. Williams over to Guzman, now Nagem. Nagem with a bad first touch. It's picked away by the veteran Josh Suggs. Suggs looks to take on Tete, and Tete stands strong.
It was a good step initially, but just too heavy on the touches that Suggs just could not control it.
Suggs, of course, a USL veteran, having spent time at Colorado Springs. Now making his way down to his home state of New Mexico. Grew up down in Las Cruces, did Josh Suggs, and to come back and be a captain of your own club right here in your own state, it's got to be something special.
And it's just what we saw last year with the way the community rallied, the connection that they had with the players, the hometown players. It was just tremendous.
Pelays gets a head on it, and Sergi tried to flick it forward, but dispossessed. Parks has been rather aggressive here today, but that's what you like to see out of these new signings.
Yeah, and Parks, he is a physical presence, and we're going to talk about that a lot earlier in the season to see what kind of impact that plays both offensively and defensively for United.
Parks also getting some experience on the international stage, featuring for the Jamaican national team 4 times. He scored 1 goal for them from 2012 to 2015. Back underway here as Weehan gets a deflection on it. Rutz plays it up to Pelays. Back to Rutz.
And Chris Weehan is a player that we haven't talked much about today other than a couple free kick opportunities, and he's the guy that he needs to be on the ball to open up the offense.
That's a great touch by Ryan Williams, and leading the charge, gets it up to Moreno. Moreno on the right foot and just sends it over. Did Mazel get a touch on it? They're going to say no. And Moreno ruining his chance there.
And Moreno continuing his impressive performance. The first touch needed to be great. It was just good here.
And you see with Kalen Ryden coming in from the near side and Suggs coming in from the outside, you just got to get one off. Moreno did well in that aspect. And now the press coming here from Team Unidos. That was Ryan Williams getting forward. Muhammad now. Muhammad plays it across to Padilla, and Austin Yearwood beats him to the ball. And Yearwood just unable to control that as the pace is really picked up here. Oh, you would think that this is United against El Paso with how physical these guys are playing.
They're going at it. They said 30 minutes. They knew what was coming in the second half. They came out blazing.
Hamilton to Sandoval. Sandoval, another guy whose name we haven't said very often here today. Suggs, and unable to control that one.
And it's just not the possession that you'd expect from the guys in black today.
And you can tell it is preseason. Yeah. The guys have really only been back at training for a few weeks. So, of course, in a month's time when they're kicking off the season down in Austin on March 7th, you really should expect to see these guys much more crisp.
No question about it, but I think today is a good showing for everyone, just kind of highlighting who's going to be competing for those spots, get a different level of intensity, being out in front of the fans here today, and there's going to be plenty that the coaches are going to be able to take from this.
And I think from a fan's perspective, you really have to like what you're seeing. When you see the lineups, you think, this old guard, it should really dominate these new guys. But Team Unidos has really done a fantastic job here today.
They have, and you look at the pedigree of players that are wearing the yellow shirts, and it's guys with USL championship experience, guys that have been in the MLS. Moreno with Chicago last year, just being in that environment, training with that squad, and then the young guys showing their talent, why United wanted to bring them in.
Hamilton surveying his options. Up to Bruce. Daniel Bruce quickly emerged as a fan favorite last year. Anytime he was on the ball, you would hear the echoes of Bruce from the crowd. Nearly 42 minutes gone by, and we'll see our first substitution of the game. This substitution is brought to you by REDW. Entering the game, making their New Mexico United debut, goalkeeper number 18, Philip Beigel. He'll replace Cody Mazel on Team Somos. There's no substitution for integrity, REDW CPAs and advisors.
And that is a big man in goal, 6'1", 200 pounds, 27-year-old who United actually had eyes on back in 2018 when they were initially looking at some potential players for their roster, and that is a presence on the goal line.
Mohamed looked to play it forward for Bruce, but cut out by Nagem. Brucey, atop the 18, threads it through. Sandoval pokes it in! And he's offside. The flag up from the assistant ref on the near side. Devin Sandoval trying to plead his case, and we're still deadlocked at no goals apiece.
Yeah, just a little bit anxious on the run on the far side.
It's Ryan Williams down on the ground in yellow, but let's have another look at that one. As you can see, Sandoval maybe a step or two offside. It was an excellent finish, as always, by the veteran, but unfortunately, let's see what happened here with Ryan Williams. He's being tended to by head athletic trainer Tyler Harris. And unfortunately for a young guy like Ryan Williams, that was really the story of year one for him. Spent a lot of time, trying to get fit, trying to get back into this team, but injuries just seem to keep creeping up on him.
Yeah, but it's a new opportunity for him, and I think it's going to be a better situation for Ryan and even the team. He's playing that holding midfield role today and seeing, can you get a creator out of that position? Williams, played on the wing, played up top a little bit. So if he's a guy that can be in that position, do some creating, that can earn him some more minutes.
He's up on his feet here, and that's always a good sign to see. Of course, it is still preseason, 4 weeks away from opening the league season here, our New Mexico United, and it looks like we're going to see the most recent announced signing for New Mexico United, Andrew Tanari, wearing the number 20. Played for Tampa Bay Rowdies last year, contributed 5 goals, 5 assists for them. And I know the original plan was to sub out Juan Pablo Guzman. Let's see if that changes with the Williams injury. So Williams over on the far side. He's able to jog a little bit, and it does look like the veteran. Well, let's see. Guzman was making his way out, and he said wait, but Zach Prince is going to say no, come on over anyway. So there you see Zach Prince and Guzman making his way out of the game. That substitution brought to you by REDW. There's no substitution for integrity. REDW CPAs and advisors. Weehan. Williams is back in and running. That's a good sight for New Mexico United fans.
Okay, Andrew Tanari, 24 years old, 22 appearances last year with Tampa Bay Rowdies. 2 years before that, New York Red Bulls, product of Columbia University.
And Sandoval had no choice but to clothesline Rashid Tete there. That was a great ball played forward for Sandoval. But of course, Rashid Tete just beating him there. Oof. Let's get another look at that one there. Is 2 big bodies going at each other. And Sandoval at that point knows he lost it. Back on the attacker, Team Somos, as Estrada. And that's going to be a foul called against Austin Yearwood. And a dangerous position here for a free kick.
And you look at Rashid Tete, though, his positioning has been really good, as well as his first touch today.
And there you see Estrada just beating Yearwood there on the corner of the 18. And it's going to be Weehan and Josh Suggs both lining up for this one. Manny Padilla there towards the far right of your screen now. He'll creep in behind them. Suggs will take. Plays it to the back post to Ryden.
Different look there from United on the build-up. Suggs playing far post, and it looks like a little too much pace on that one, but that would have been in a good position for Ryden to play it back in and then have that second ball.
Yeah, you see Hamilton and Schmidt there right across the face of goal. If Ryden was able to deflect that one back into the middle, but to no avail. We're still deadlocked. No goals apiece. 47 minutes gone by. Beery gets rid of that one. Muhammad will play it out, and Nagem back to Beery. Schmidt on the receiving end of that. Hamilton, not a great touch, and another heavy touch by Romeo Parks. Here's the captain, Josh Suggs. Spreads it to Bruce. He's got Weehan and Sandoval in the box. Bruce has a go, deflected out, and eventually cleared out by Romeo Parks.
Done well by Ben Bury. Two-handed save, able to poke it out away from goal.
That was a nice, good vision there by Daniel Bruce to see the short window and have a go. Let's have another look at that one there. You can see Bury full extension parrying that one away. And luckily it went to Romeo Parks and not one of the guys in black. Estrada plays the cross into the box, far side, and Bury able to get to that one.
We saw one of the earlier crosses in that first half. Daniel Bruce was forced to the goal line, wasn't able to bring it back across. That time he's able to cut back inside just enough to create some space to get that shooting opportunity.
About 12 minutes left in this preseason inter-squad friendly. Of course, we are playing 2 30-minute halves here today. Schmidt. He's fouled. Parks doesn't agree with the call there.
Romeo Parks is definitely one of those guys. If he's on your team, you love him. If he's not, you're going to be rooting against him all year long.
Suggs. And it's crucial for every team to have a guy like that, Here's Ryden. Hamilton. Play it back to Padilla. And a foul called on Pablo Pelez. Pelez out of San Diego, California. 5'8" trialist here. There's Justin Schmidt. Another fan favorite, another local boy from right here in Albuquerque. Suggs. Oh, and Hamilton gives that one away to Moreno, and now the break is on, and unfortunately just a step behind Parks. Otherwise, he had a nice run going down the flank. The ball just bouncing around like a game of pinball. Finally settled by Hamilton. Weehan lays it off for Sandoval. Step over, has a rip with the left, and it's just over the bar.
And Devin Sandoval can do that from anywhere on the pitch, and that was a left foot floater.
And you can tell Pieri was caught a little bit off guard by that one, as you can see, just trying to get something on it to get over the bar, but unfortunately for Sandoval, just a bit too high.
A good build-up there between Sandoval and Weehan, and you've seen better chemistry in the second half. The guys got the legs under themselves, and the passing better, because you got to get used to the pitch as well. The pace of this is almost like an indoor game on some turf.
Padilla into Hamilton, now out to Estrada. Padilla will play it back to Beigel. Beigel pressured by Yearwood, gets that one away. It'll fall to Moreno. Nagem up for Sergi. Lay it off for Nagem. We said Tanari played for Tampa Bay last year, as did David Nagem. Made 12 appearances, 9 of those starts for Tampa Bay Rowdies in 2019. Also scored a goal. Corner kick coming up. This corner kick brought to you by Bank of America. As Armando Moreno will head on over to the far corner. Low corner. It's going to be bounced out. Connor Rutt's in possession here on the near side. Pelez now. Rutt's dispossessed by Salim Muhammad. Sent back in by Ryan Williams. And here's Moreno. Cross into the box. Far side. Padilla able to see that one out. And actually, they're going to say it was off Pelez.
A little good moment right there for Team Unidos, and I like the little bit of a switch up there in the corner. Some of the earlier ones we've seen just played straight in the box, unable to beat the first man. So we had that one played in by Moreno, get a bit of a bounce, and then a flick on, a different look with all the bodies running into the box.
Philip Beigel ready to send this one long. One played out for Daniel Bruce. He's beaten to it by David Nagem. Williams tries the flick on. Muhammad whiffs on the tackle. Played forward for Romeo Parks. Here's Parks setting it up. Plays it in. Pelez. And Williams ran off the ball by Sam Hamilton. Another excellent opportunity for Team Unidos.
Great job by Parks and Pelays to play that one in, but Hamilton better at the end.
Sandoval now. Break going the other way for Team Somos. And played near side for Estrada. He's got Weehan in the middle. Estrada lays it off, and it's cut out by Ryan Williams, and he'll see this one out for a throw.
That's one where Estrada, you want him to be selfish because the time it took him to cut inside that lane, the Sandoval was closed down.
A little bit over 5 minutes left as Rashid Tete able to get to that one before Sandoval. Suggs on the far side. Either team looking for a breakthrough goal here in the last few minutes. Cross into the box, sent out by Rutz. Sergi now plays it forward. The new signing, Andrew Tanari. There's nobody in the box now. Finally, Sergi makes his way in, and that ball poked away by Weehan, and now it's Bruce over to Muhammad. Estrada, he's got the run from Weehan on the near side, elects to go to Sandoval instead, and just a little behind him. Here comes Nagem. Parks. Now Yearwood. Nice move there by Ryan Williams. He gets it right back and tries to play the through ball. Romeo Parks, but Philip Beigel is there.
Beigel coming out, and that's a guy that he will not be afraid to attack with his size. Almost 200 pounds as a keeper, so he's going to put his body where it needs to be.
Just a little too much weight there on that through ball by Ryan Williams on that replay. Now following the full-time whistle here, which is going to be at 60 minutes, we're going to have a penalty shootout here today, and we'll give you a little bit more information on that as that time comes around. Got about 3 minutes or so left on that. And Bruce, a little bit of a sloppy touch there, but Suggs there to get back in possession. Try to play it forward, but Rashid Tete's there. Moreno. And Muhammad gets a touch on that, sees it out.
You know, the expectations for this team are so high from the fans. The excitement just for this game, you're right, this is the first time we're seeing them in a competitive atmosphere just a couple weeks into training, but it really goes to show you when you have over 2,100 fans in attendance for this inter-squad scrimmage, people already breaking down the game on social media, just how important this team is.
And we saw it in year one with New Mexico United leading USL Championship in attendance, averaging nearly 12,700 fans every game. Of course, topping out over 15,000 twice right across the street there at the lab, JJ. These fans, they love this team, and it's incredible to see.
They do, and it's such a fun atmosphere. It's an amazing thing for this community and this state to have added to the sports landscape.
Padilla gives it away. It's Williams now up for Austin Yearwood. He's got Pelays. Elects to keep it, and that's going to be a foul on Manny Padilla. Let's have another look at that one. As you can see, Yearwood just gets by Manny Padilla, and Padilla really with no other option but to foul him and stop the break there. Estrada. And now turned over. Pelays And a bad pass from Pelaez is picked off by Ryden. And here goes Kalen Ryden on a run. Gets it up to Weehan. He's got Sandoval in the middle. Weehan cuts it across, but it finds Connor Rutz. And the threat is eliminated.
That's a great job backtracking there by the Unidos defense. And Weehan, that was really his only option with the speed that he was going at. Not enough time to collect it. He just had to send it across.
Justin Schmidt. Less than 45 seconds left of the 60-minute time allotment. Golfs out and forward for Sandoval, and just an odd angle, but Sandoval is going to be whistled for his second offside of the afternoon.
And that's Devin Sandoval. He's going to be playing as far forward as possible, and maybe a couple of times you can get away with it because guess what? There's no second looks in the USL Championship. You have to deal with video-assisted refereeing.
No VAR here. It's Tanari. Moreno now. Over to Yearwood. Yearwood sees it out, and that is the full-time whistle here as we finish up the 60-minute timer with no goals on either side. But like I said, we will go to a penalty shootout here in just a moment. But in the meantime, the 2020 season is right around the corner. Let's take a look at New Mexico United's full schedule. The Star Brothers Brewing Company star of the match, Armando Moreno here, JJ. He was able to get forward a lot of dangerous positions he found himself in here today.
Yeah, it was very impressive, the new signing, and you see why Chicago had him on the roster last year. He's a very talented player, has a lot of pace, good on the ball, cut back in, and we talk so much about filling Kavan Frater. Well, it's more Santi Mawar, that role of the winger who can not only create but be a goal-scoring threat, and it looks like Moreno's going to be able to bring that to the table.
And when you come to a new club, it's such an honor to get the number 10. So that just tells you how much the coaching staff believe in this guy, as well as his fellow players, to let him have that number 10. And of course, I really expect him to play a big part in this team here this season. Yeah,
and it's a place where you still have Daniel Bruce, a young player, an established veteran, and David Estrada, but that Armando Moreno is going to be playing a ton of time on the wing for this squad.
Now, we did tell you there's going to be a penalty kick shootout here this afternoon, and this isn't just any regular old penalty shootout. We're not doing this because the score was 0-0. This is actually a PKs for Charity shootout. Team Somos and honorary captain, one of the leaders of our supporters group, David Carl, he's going to be picking his 5 for Watermelon Mountain Ranch, and Team Unidos and honorary captain RJ Montano, they will be shooting for CLN Kids.
That's just a great way to wrap up the day, show the interaction with the fans, how important the Curse are, but then everyone else. And, for the players as well, give them an opportunity to say, hey, we got this. We came out on top, so you still have that competitive edge at the end.
There you can see the curse up to the top left corner of your screen, the supporters group for New Mexico United. We've got a two-pole out there, and I got to give it to them. The creativity on these, the TIFOs, the two poles throughout Season 1. I'm just looking forward more and more for Season 2. Is the one they've got today says, United's vision is 2020 with a couple of cups there filling in for the zeros.
You got to love that. And the creativity of the curse, and then, of course, the TIFOs that you mentioned that we see hanging from the west side stands, just beautiful work done by so many creative people in this United community.
And we talked about it just a little bit, just the way that the community has really rallied around this team. One thing that we continuously hear from the front office is that, soccer is just something that they do once a week for 90 minutes. It's really what they do in between that time to have an impact on the great state of New Mexico. And stepping up first for Team Somos, it's going to be Josh Suggs, the captain. In goal, of course, is Ben Bury. So Josh Suggs will be the first one, and Ben Bury stones him cold right off the bat.
Oh, what a play by Bury, staying strong. And did he catch that? Couldn't tell maybe his hand or his lower body.
We'll have another look at that, as you could see.
Yes, it was. The trailing hand.
Beautifully done, and Ben Bury's fired up. Stepping up now first for Team Unidos is the youngster, Sammy Sergi. Sergi here looking to find the back of the net for the first time in black and yellow. Sergi, a little bit of a slow run up, but no doubt about it. As Philip Beigel goes left, Sergi goes right, and Team Unidos is on top after the first round of penalties. You see very decisive was Sergi, gets every bit of power he had left into that one. I'm not sure even if Beigel guesses right that he would get a hand on that.
There's plenty of pace from the youngster in that one. And that's what you like to see, decisiveness on a PK.
Devin Sandoval now. And Sandoval goes low and right. Bury goes left. And Team Somos now on the board. And here's our Star Brothers Brewing Company star of the match, Armando Moreno, coming up for Team Unidos as we get another look at Devin Sandoval putting that one in the back of the net. So Armando Moreno now. Can Beigel make the save, even things up, and goes right down the pipe, does Armando Moreno. Team Unidos lead after the second round of PKs 2-1.
That is a confident man right there, Armando Moreno. And anytime you see one of those PKs right down the middle with just enough taken off of it, that one gets you as a keeper.
A little bit of a Panenka there from Armando Moreno. Finds the back of the net, totally gets Beigel going the wrong way. And now it's Sam Hamilton for Team Somos.
Oh.
And gets it to go, does Hamilton, going left, just beating Ben Bury.
Pings it off the near post.
And coming up next is the new guy, Andrew Tanari, and you can see for Hamilton, you really can't place that one any better.
That was all about the placement right there. Because of that run-up, Bury knew where he was going, and that was just accuracy on point right there.
Andrew Tanari now. Oh, and Tanari goes off the post. And we are back to level terms here. 2-2 after 3 rounds of PKs. And coming up next is Salih Muhammad. As you can see, Tanari maybe he just thought about it a little too much.
And like I said, it's such a fun way to end this one. Of course, on the line, some money for charity, but these guys do want to put that in the back of the net.
Here's Salih Muhammad now, out of Richmond, California. And Muhammad gets it to go.
Bury guessed right, but that was just height and pace.
Yeah, and it's got to be tough from a goalkeeper when you're facing these shots from 12 yards out.
Yeah.
That was beautifully placed there by Salih Muhammad. Now, stepping up for Team Unidos, it is David Nagem. And Nagem is blocked by Philip Beigel as Beigel goes left and guesses correctly. And Somos need to hit this one. And it's Manny Padilla now coming up for Team Somos. Manny Padilla, of course, out of Compton, California, as we said, made 26 appearances, 23 of them starts, led the team in assists last year. And here's Padilla, and he squeaks it by Ben Bury. And Padilla with a little bit of a playful celebration there, as that's the winner for Team Somos, as they'll win this penalty shootout. Don't even have to go to the last one for Team Unidos here. As yet another replay there.
Look at that bounce right before the goal line to get it under Bury. That was nicely done by Padilla right there.
Yeah, and Bury, of course, he thinks he should have saved that. He slaps the post there before getting up there as the celebration from Manny Padilla. And frankly, JJ, today was a really good showcase here for what the fans are to expect for the 2020 season.
It was a lot of fun. The guys brought some great energy, some physicality to the game, a taste of what's on store upcoming, what these guys are going to be doing in training the next few weeks.
So Troy Lesane, of course, had to have been pleased with what he saw here today. Of course, the new additions to the coaching staff, the new additions to the team, everybody here excited for the 2020 season. That's going to do it for us here today, ladies and gentlemen. For all of our crew here today, for JJ Buck on color, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
Cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.